Good morning again, and welcome back to Island Tea with your faves, Kevon and Amali, and our friends who are also faves. Who our friend is a fave, Azem and Jade. I hope you realize what I did there. But we are jumping into Eat Local with the St Kitts and Nevis Robotics Association. Welcome, guys.
Oh, yeah, thank you.
Welcome to you.
I know I ain't both big Hawaiian Misha. I know you're coming here whispering.
Don't worry, we're gonna bring it up a bit.
Okay. So for the listeners and viewers who don't know who you are, what you're about, just give us a little.
Okay, so I'm here with Sanjeev Suresh, who is a member of the St Kitts and Nevis Robotics Association, and also the team captain. I'm sure you're going to introduce yourself. All right, so I'm Dr. Neil. I lecture at the college in the area of information technology and applied science. I'm the founder of the SKNRA and also the robotics team. I'm the author of one of the largest IT textbook in the region that most persons know. So if you're in high school doing CSEC IT, then you'll see my name on one of those textbooks. Yes.
Nice.
All right. I'm also the founder of IITAE, a IT consulting firm that actually supports SKNRA to make sure SKNRA is effective whenever it travels. Yeah.
A whole lot.
A whole lot. There's more. I'm just going
to tell us the more.
All right. So I also sit on the CXC Council. So please do not reach out to me after this. So I sit on CXC Council. I oversee as one of the assistant examiners the operations. Yeah.
Yeah, we got somebody on the ground.
Yeah, man.
We got somebody on the ground.
Yeah, so I do that.
Public enemy number 4.
All right. I'm Sanjeev Suresh. I'm the program director for the St Kitts and Nevis Robotics Association. Also team captain for the St Kitts and Nevis Robotics team for 2020. I also work on IITA as the operations and marketing manager. Well, I do videos. I will leave it there. Animations and videos. So, well, we're going to be talking about Robotics Association and what we do, but primarily robotics.
Okay.
Let's jump right into it. So what does the association do, and give us history of the association, how it started, all that stuff, and to where you all are today.
I think that's exactly the first thing that jumps in my mind, because whenever we are asked to do any presentation, we generally go back from where we started. I'm trying to condense it as much as possible. But I remember in 2015, when we just started exploring robots. As a matter of fact, I always give a little condensed version of why we started it. I remember we were in a research class, and we were there discussing the new technologies that is actually out there, especially in the universities. They're researching these things, and we felt that we were behind. We felt that, St. Kitts and Nevis should be stepping in those areas. And so one of the students in the group said that he wanted a robot assistant, okay? And I'm being candid with it. He wanted for other reasons. And so we decide we're going to explore. Will you get it? Right? And so we begin to actually explore. That's the truth. As a matter of fact, that student now who has been to Canada, study and come back, he is the executive director.
Okay.
Right now, so he's the executive director.
So he got what he wanted.
Shaquille Benjamin, he got what he wanted.
Okay.
Well,
call him a name
yeah, of course. We actually joke about it all the time. He actually is now the director for the program, and he's very, very effective at it. So it started around 2015-16 when we started the research. Now that research would have been a part of what we call a capstone competency-based program. And the capstone competency-based program is a program that I started in 2015, where the students who are doing the information technology at the technical division of the college, they are required to present all of their research at the Marriotts. And so we invite private sector companies to come and see what research areas that they actually started in. They exploring. We therefore move from that now and begin to explore full-on robotics. And it was at that time we got an invitation to represent St. Kitts and Nevis in Washington, D.C. And so in 2017, we went to Washington, D.C., and that was the first time we actually, I think we were trending at one point in time, we actually blew up across the world stage,
Yeah,
where
right,
we competed. At one point, we were third in the world, and that actually raised a lot of eyebrows to say, I mean, this small island just come in the competition without having a robotics industry here, and they started to blow up. And then from then, that is when it started. The association started last year. We just had our first anniversary. And so the association now boasts with about 140 plus members. But if we look back in 2017, it was just, what, 4 of us? I think it was just 4 of us.
So in
and now we have grown.
So in like
to that
3-4 years, you've I don't do maths. You've a million drupled the numbers.
Yeah, it actually went on.
Because you said starting 4 of us, and now you're at
140
140 plus.
Somewhere there, members.
Wow.
Yeah,
And the members primarily consist of people from what backgrounds, or is it students? Like
it's actually a mixture. We have adults. We have private sector persons who are part of the association, but we have a cross section of young people, college, high school, and private sector.
Awesome. But I remember when you guys went off to Washington. I remember like it was a big deal. It was all over the media. I think I remember seeing some reports even in some of the more major news outlets from the US and stuff like that.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, because within the United States, it was actually a shock. It was a shocking situation, because we just started to explore robotics. Because as a matter of fact, we competed against about close to 200 countries at that time. And we outrank most of the major territories, including the larger countries like China and so forth. So we were able to outrank them. And that is what raised the eyebrow. Like, what are we doing? And when we got back home, they were asking us, when we check online, we saw statements like, who are the engineers in St. Kitts? What kind of engineering industry they have in St. Kitts? So we saw all of those questions begin to pop up. Person trying to find out, what is going on down here. I actually attribute the success of the robotics team to the participants, because they put in some serious hours. I'm talking about, at the college researching until after 2 in the morning. Sometimes they stay right until, the other day, just because they want to make sure that they are competitive.
So you're saying that it's a combination of hard work and the fact that we do have some very talented persons in this area, right here?
Yeah, I always I've always have the pride in saying that sometime in the Caribbean region we underestimate our talents and our skills.
Indeed.
And sometimes we actually sit around waiting for somebody to come and tell us that you have the skill and the talent. What we did not wait for somebody across the world to say, hey, you guys know you have that skill. No, we actually pursued. And even when we did not know, we took the time out to find out what we need to know to actually compete. And one of the statement that we tend to use in the Robotics Association, well for me, and they all know my little poem that I always say. So I have a poem that says, the heights by great men, reach and cape are not attained by sudden flight. But they, while the companion slept, they were turning upwards through the night. That poem resonates with us because we believe that hard work will bring out talent that will keep St Kitts and Nevis on top.
All right. So tell us a bit about what these, like when the robotics team travel and when they compete, like what is it that you engage in? Is it you have a project that you demonstrate, or what is it? Is it Robot Wars? Like what's happening?
Well, I'm sure the association want to have that Robots War.
Yes,
People are talking about that thing, and we actually have several plans in play that is going to bring that here. That's for sure.
Awesome. I love watching on TV.
Me too.
Yeah, so we have that plan. The young people like that, and we find that gets out, bring out certain talent, certain skill set out of them. But generally, the way how the competition is actually set, and I wish my spokesperson was here because she knows everything. But the way how the competition is organized is that we generally receive a theme. And the theme is generally linked to an issue that is existing across the world. For example, pollution, famine. And so what we have to do is to build a robot that will address that particular issue as a prototype. And so once we design that robot, then we take it to wherever the competition is, and then it is inspected first to make sure we pass the inspection. The good thing about St Kitts and Nevis is that we have never failed a robot inspection. We have always passed because we keep within the confines of the rules. So once we do that, then we compete with other robot that is actually there. So that's the long and short of the competition. But
so y'all didn't bring any robots to show us today?
Perhaps this guy is a robot, you never know.
For the next show. For the next show, we bring a robot.
What can the robot do?
Yeah. So we have three. So we have three so far. One of them should actually do separation of water particles, clean versus dirty water. One of them actually operate as a forklift that it should be able to lift, objects. The beauty about it is that it can be an autonomous robot, so it can do it on its own if we choose to actually to do that. That particular robot, we're looking to have that as a manufacturer piece, because our intent is not just to go and build robots. Our intent is to bring an industry to St. Kitts, a robotic industry, because most of the time whenever I speak to persons and they say, okay, how is that going to benefit us? And that is our intent.
Okay.
So we did have communications with different agencies to see how we can get that done as our long-term goal.
Right. And so you find that, robotics in particular, and engineering in itself is a way that the nation can really diversify the economy, diversify the offerings that we have here, because we do realize, especially now since the pandemic, that we really have to find ways to expand the industries that we have here. Do you see robotics as one of the ways that we should be looking into heavily?
I think that should be something that is on our agenda, our top agenda. And the reason why is because if you follow the trend of the countries around, especially the larger territories, you find that they would have explored different areas that we in turn are a bit reluctant to explore because we are not seeing the profitability at the moment, and so we step back. And these countries would have actually their whole GDP would have transformed because of that kind of exploration. We who are in IT, we know what is happening. We know that it is inevitable. It is an inevitable thing. And so we do believe that if we can scale some of the industries that we have here and implement robots in these industries, and also even have manufacturing plants that produce parts for robots, can actually boost the economy that we have. We even have investors who actually is asking questions. Should we invest in St. Kitts? Should we? So you have those kind of questions that is actually, popping up as a result of the whole idea of we moving into that area.
Interesting. I guess for me, I always feel that technology is a way to make us more and more competitive, right? And the question that you asked earlier, or the question that you mentioned that's being asked about who are the engineers and stuff on the island, I have not seen many people pushing into the field of engineering and robotics. Like, is that something that is changing, or is it something that we need to really encourage to see that happening?
I think that's something that we need to encourage the students to actually get involved, especially the students from a younger age. The reality is that we are here now. The young people is actually coming up, and we have to let them know that there are other fields other than becoming a lawyer and a doctor. And there's this notion that the lawyer and the doctor is the paramount field in society, which I beg to differ.
Right.
All right. So we need to have them explore different areas. And what we recognize in 2017, and even up until now, we do have a lot of Kittitian and Nevisian students who are highly skilled. And it is amazing to watch them get, because, okay, let me put it into perspective, right? We are now ranked first in the OECS, first in the Caribbean. And out of 200 countries, we are ranked 35th?
30th.
30th
Wow.
in the world. Let me put it into perspective, which would simply mean that we would have outperformed Russia, we would have outperformed China, we have outperformed a number of larger territories who have invested millions of dollars in that very same area. Now, we who are the novice, if you will, right, we came on the scene and now we have stepped ahead of them. What does that mean? It means that we have skilled youth within St Kitts and Nevis. Now, for us, we are not, as the Robotics Association, standing around and waiting for somebody to say, hey, why not do this? No, we are actually making the move.
Right.
We are registered as a non-profit organization, which means that we stand by ourselves because we feel that we can get more done when we get the youths together and have our own curriculum and so forth.
So what are some of the challenges that you guys find to the proliferation of engineering and robotics and this entire concept of IT here in the Federation?
I think one of the challenge is you find persons are slow to adapt to changes. For example, when we first started talking about robots, person was asking, "What is that?" And they want to know what is this thing. And when it is actually explained, comments would be, "Well, we're not ready for that. We're far away from that," and so forth. So you find that was a challenge. The beauty about it is that a number of the private sector would have supported the cause to ensure that this happened, because they do understand what is happening out there. Within some of the mainland countries, you have robots who are doing a number of jobs, right? And actually aiding employees with a number of jobs. So that now I think is changing. So the major challenges that we had before, some of them are slowly, going away because it is persons are coming to terms with what's happening, especially since 2017 when the whole country, if you will, recognized that St Kitts and Nevis name is being called by countries that didn't even know that St Kitts and Nevis is in the region.
But when people think of robot, people think a human-looking thing that just does human things. I don't think people understand that robots are literally like moving parts that do all sorts of things. Machinery is robots. All these things are robots. So how you said it's been a task trying to get people to understand the concept of a robot.
So what we had to do was a lot of PR. So we did a lot of PR. So we were on almost every single radio show, and we have our social media page and so forth. So that was a challenge because of the movies.
Right.
So when you watch movies, you see Terminator,
and iRobot,
2, 3, 4, and all those, and persons like, oh, that's what they're talking about. But that is a humanoid, and just a sneak peek we're working on one. But anyway, so that's just a humanoid.
Keep it away.
That's a humanoid. But robots actually transform factories. They have factory lines, that is monitors. As long as the equipment has a chip in it, and that chip is able to be controlled, then that would be classified as a robot, a moving part. So, for example, we met with several private sector agencies, and they're thinking about, okay, how can we streamline? But the question that normally follows that is, will the people lose their jobs?
Yeah.
That's the question that follows. And so it therefore means that the person who's at the helm trying to introduce and actually get this done, then you have to present a solution to the problem where you still keep the people.
So currently, how many members does the association have?
100 and what? 140.
We have about 153, 54.
Okay, so
when you tell me 140,
that's a big association.
I was thinking
that's a big association.
But we're close to 150 something.
I think I need to put it into perspective again because we have a board, We have executives,
Right.
and then we have the body.
members.
Yeah, so it's
Yeah.
a large association. We are registered. And we stand. We used to be a part of CFBC at the time, but because we have grown so far, so fast, so we had to, make a decision.
Expand and
So it's a,
then-
so it's a really large association. We have actually members who are in Ukraine,
Belgium.
Belgium. So we have Kittitians who are in Belgium, who is actually members, who is studying engineering, electrical engineering, and
Mechanical.
mechanical engineering. So we do have that kind of conversation that goes on within the association. So it's much larger than what I probably hear put in the to be.
So
So-
what's... Oh, you go.
We went to ask what's next for the association.
Yes, that's actually my question.
So what's on the agenda for the association?
Okay, so,
What's the next big move? If you could, speak about it.
Yes, we can speak about it, but certain things we can't show. We can
Right,
speak
right.
about it. I think I'm going to let Sanjeev dive in here. I think I'm taking away too much from Sanjeev.
Yeah, so the next big move for us would be the upcoming event. We have the National Marine Drone Competition that we are
Marine drone.
Yeah.
Yeah, my
Yes.
attention.
Yes.
Yes.
I know. Yeah.
So robotics might be the one. So robotics might be the one where we're talking about, but we do have other projects. Like he earlier said, we gave a sneak peek that we are working on a humanoid. We have drones, underwater drones. We are working on multiple projects, game development, web, app developments, and so on. So marine drone competition, we are trying to host that somewhere in April. More details will be posted on our website, which is sknra.org, and also on our socials. I'm going into my mode right now, into promos, but we'll be posting them and publishing them all over the internet and on newslines. So the marine drone competition should be held somewhere in April, and the competition is based off a sustainable goal, which is ocean cleanup.
Okay.
So similarly, we have other competitions that should be held sometime this year. We also have the National Robotics Challenge. We have, again, the first Global Olympics that's coming up soon, and so forth. So we have multiple competitions coming up. We also are working on a few other events, such as the OECS Robotics Competition, the CARICOM Robotics Competition. We also have the International Relations Program, the Public Outreach Program. We have the Research Symposium. Yeah, so we have a bunch of things, and we also have started recently training sessions where we train members, and soon, hopefully, well, this is a sneak peek for the public. We're going to open house some training sessions so they can learn about drones, how to build them from scratch, also on robots and everything in
So
general.
for those listening who aren't familiar with what an ocean drone is,
Yeah,
a marine drone,
I know
sorry.
you're going to come back to that.
Yeah, what is a
So,
marine drone?
I think first, before, I want to say that even though we are dubbed Robotics Association, we do several things. So we do coding, it's the whole works.
The whole IT.
Yeah, the
right.
whole works. So, so even though we say robotics, that's what we do. We are currently actually forming the OECS Robotics Association also, along with ECCB, which is our partner, to form that, to get that done right across the region.
Awesome.
So we're spreading right across the region, and hold St Kitts to be the head office.
Nice.
All right, so we keep it like that. But the marine drone is actually an exciting project. The intent of the marine drone. First, let me tell you what it is. So it's an equipment that you put in the water, and it should be able to go around, and you can scan the coral reefs. You can see what is going on down there. So it's an aid for a diver. I'm sure you've watched movies where you see these drone things under the water. So that is what
They explore like vessels and shipwrecks and so
and do all of that kind of
and they
stuff.
have arms on them and the lights and so.
Right, and all that kind of stuff. So we actually decided that we're going to scale it down, where we have a competition where we invite all the high schools. So we send them kits, right? The kits would have loose parts. So the kits are not going to be like templates, no, loose
Right.
parts. And then you are going to build,
Assemble.
right? And then you're going to build based on the theme that we have. Now, our theme is taken from the United Nations, United Nations Sustainable Goals. So they have about 17 goals. What? I guess that one right. Okay, they have about 17 goals, and so those goals speaks to countries' challenges, and so we scale it down to that. So,
So is this something to do with like ocean cleanup? Is that
yes,
is
something
that
to
the
do
goal?
that, yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah. And so what we intend out of these challenges is not just fun. They're gonna have fun, but I think learning is best.
Right.
It best occurred having
Well,
fun.
having
fun.
Yeah, having
Right.
fun. It should not be boring.
Mhm.
It should not be boring. I hate a boring classroom.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, you see, I'm a teacher. You can ask them. I'm not a regular teacher. I'm not regular. I'm telling you from now. So my class has to be boring. People can't come in there and sleep. We're gonna find something fun to do. All right. So for that challenge, we want to have at the end of it to be able to identify skills. For example, the ones who win the challenge. Then we try to organize to see if we can get that product on the shelf or
Right.
get them start their small business
Right.
in actually, and perhaps they want to put some cameras on it and then provide information to all the marine biologists that come to St Kitts and want data. So it could be a business there. So that is why we are doing all of these things.
Wow. I had no idea this kind of stuff happening.
Yeah, it's crazy.
There's a lot of things happening.
And like you said, I know you guys take part in things like app development and
Yes.
stuff like that. So it's a wide ranging thing. I think what's interesting to note is the apprehension that you spoke about earlier, people and robotics, is to see that these are tools and things that we can use to help better society, help better the environment, help better us as people, and is in some ways probably necessary and becoming more and more necessary as time goes on.
Yeah, I operate under the concept that we can. I do not, and for those who are in the IT program or the technical division, we have our conversation is from the perspective of we designing and developing, not just importing.
Right.
Too much of that
right.
is happening. I think too much of that is happening.
Yes.
If we need an app, we have to download one. My concept is IT program is if you need an app, how can we design it?
Yeah.
Right? How can we rally around to see how we can make this thing and then you guys use it? All right. If you want to build a website, if you want a website, how can we make the website? So that's the kind of conversation that we have. So our conversation is not the conversation of, okay, well, we can just reach out to a company overseas and they will just give you it and then you're good, or you pay for it and that's you're good. No, right? So I'm actually against that kind of concept where we just import. I think we should build our own.
Well, it's funny that you said that because, for instance, like right now, I have a family member, and myself actually, who wanted to build an app. Like he opted for like Fiverr and found somebody in India to build it for him, and I've been trying to find somebody on island who I know we have the skills here.
Yes,
I know we have the skills here, app developers and things like that. So perhaps, and I believe that I can't be the only one. So for persons listening and looking at us online, I'm assuming that the association could be a resource for people looking for people with these skills. So how do we contact the association? Is the association a place where we could find people with these skills?
Yeah, the association has a number of persons. As a matter of fact, most of the IT students and graduate from the technical division IT program, they are part, and they do have that kind of skill set. As a matter of fact, we're actually encouraging them to actually start their own businesses.
Yeah, man.
All right.
Yes.
So that's one of our biggest encouragement. We have one of our past students by the name of Akan Maynard. Right. He actually started his aerial drone business. He does the aerial shots around.
So what's his name?
Akan Maynard.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man.
You should know who
yeah,
he
man.
is. Yeah,
Hard.
Right. So
hard,
he came out of the same program. He's a member.
Oh, okay.
He's a member of the association.
I met him.
Right?
I met him late last year.
Aka's a genius, him.
Yeah. And so all of that came. So we tend to push the idea of starting our own business. But once anyone wants to get in contact with us, they can get in contact with us by.
They can check us out on sknra.org, or they can also contact us directly at 661-7417. They can also check our social media where they can let us a message, and we will definitely reply as soon as we could. Our socials are SKNRA, the St Kitts and Nevis Robotics Association, or SKN Robotics Association on YouTube, LinkedIn, Twitter, Facebook, Flickr, and Instagram.
Everywhere.
Everywhere.
Love it.
Amen. All right, well, guys, we've come to the end. Actually, we've passed the end.
Okay.
Time flies when you're having fun.
Yes, of our segment. And we do hope to have you back sometime in the future to tell us more about, upcoming projects, especially the marine drone competition. That's going to be held where?
Here in St Kitts.
No, we're in St Kitts.
What's the location today?
I'm not sure about the location, but I know
Still on the works?
Initial
Under the
it was
water.
supposed to be at the Marriott's, but we are looking at the appropriate pool.
Okay.
So we have identified a pool already, but when the time comes, we will reveal all of the information.
Okay.
I definitely want to be there.
Along with divers. So we even have divers who are going to be there
Mhm.
to man the competition. So.
Oh, nice.
And we do have somebody who's assigned to actually man that challenge. So the next time when we come, I will take him and he will give you guys
More details,
More details.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you very much, once again, and we'll see you folks soon.